Namaskar, namaste, good morning to everybody. The topic that I have suggested for my discussion today is a brief topic. The corporate leader amidst diversity of minds. It's a jungle of minds when we talk about the world as a society and even any social context in urban situation. I was thinking about the onset of the thinking for CSR. I'll just brief about some of our activities in the beginning before I come to some conceptual points about it. It was 2006. I'll show you a short video. It was 2006 when I had finally, I could start some activities at one corner of our country. When I was in IIM Calcutta as a professor, teaching finance and ethics, I tried with my students to do a study of the pavement dwellers, particularly in the city of Kolkata. Unfortunately, consecutive 4 years, I, started persuading the students. Honestly, unfortunately, I couldn't get one single person during that period who wanted to come and join me for a wide-scale study of the city of Kolkata for the life and livelihoods of pavement dwellers and some of the slums which are there by the side of the canals that pass through the city and some other fringe areas. But fortunately, when I took over EILM Kolkata, 2006, I got a team of teachers who came forward. My salutation to those teachers and almost 200 students who came forward. My respect to all of them. This was the first time an assessment in our country of the pavement dwellers and the connected lower end slums in a city, in our country, the complete study of their life and livelihood. We did that, and the study continued for nearly 2 months. I'll show you a glimpse of that. The study concluded 20 years ago. So I was also 20 years ago in the age group of that. And you can have a glimpse of it. The contrast the urbanization has created. This contrast was reflected, but that book was denied of Nobel Prize. I'm an ardent, follower of the literature Nobel and Nobel Prize in physics and science, medical science. But then I haven't seen a superior powerful thought than Aranyak by Bibhuti Bhushan Bandyopadhyay. He came out with the cries of the forest when the urbanization started, and please don't mind my mentioning the name of the group. They have done a lot of good things, but when it was started, at that point it was really a cry of the trees. Tatas in Jamshedpur. And Bibhuti Bhushan, in the backdrop of that, when the urbanization started taking place, he had a heartfelt study of the trees and the plants, shrubs, herbs. Aranyak was not really, it's a transition from the rural to urban mind, not just from rural to urban living. It's a mind. What we have come to. We have come to an urbanization which is actually inevitably going to be a killer in our own initiative, even though we are protecting to some extent the mother world, the mother earth. In our Bhagavatam, it's been mentioned about the cows. The cows are the protector of the human civilization. And I believe in that. In Bhagavatam, Lord Krishna was having a conversation with Uddhav. And in that, it's spelled out in Uddhav Gita. Those who are conversant with that, you will find. If anyone needs a reference, I'll give exact reference. And there he's mentioning that, Go Mata, Dharitri Mata. This too you have to preserve. Dharitri Mata, the earth system, is our mother. Milton Friedman had identified triple P as his dimension. And in economics, the triple P dimension, we know that it's, elaborated by Milton Friedman. I take you to Kautilya's Arthashastra. I have written Vedic economy based on that. It's in very great details I've given in elaborate terms. Wherein it's mentioned, it's very categorically mentioned by Kautilya that, economy is not only this calculation of the value or presenting value, preserving value, enhancing value. Is what? Creating a value on a long-term scale through a sustainable model wherein you'll find that the value is actually arising out of something which is always benign. We are no longer a benign. Any action that we do is a non-benign action. It's a killer. For example, the urban society has a thinking. In India, we have, almost close to 65-66% people who are living on the, non-vegetarian food as a kind of preference. There are some people who are non-vegetarian, vegetarian food. Vegetarian food. There are some people who are extremely vegetarian at home and extremely reverse at certain public places or certain other places. I've seen that among my friends in academic community, I've seen. Even I've seen among monks. So you see the kind of thing that there is a consideration that food can, segregate. Vegetarian is the better, non-vegetarian is a killer. Both are killers. Actually, a plant that you're taking halves, fruits. It's all at the cost of life. God has created in such a way that it's everything that you do. Anyam. Anyam is what? Prananyam. Prananyam is what? Annaha Brahma iti brajanayate. This is Vriyat Aranyaka Upanishad mentions. It's a part of our, Yajur Veda. Shukla Yajur Veda, written by says Yagnavalkya. And where, you have the food, Anya. It was elaborated by, says Vaishnapan sometime before Yagnavalkya, that, the vital energy that you get is from the food, Anya. And that Anya has to be maintained in such a way that it is always recyclable. Cow contributes what? I was trying to persuade one, famous spiritual mission that, you do something to preserve the cows. Long back, I'm talking about 2008 when there was a crash in US economy and I was there and I've observed what kind of pains and panic US people, my friends in many places of, I was there in, at that time in at that time I was there in Texas Women's University and then Texas, Austin, Dallas in the same go. And I've seen that the pangs came to Kansas. One of my friends, he is a very, senior scientist over there. And he was telling how do we manage this? Because everything is on, hire. We don't own anything. We have everything on hire. You get a job, you get a house. The moment you get a job, the same evening you get a call that, yes, house is for that. You lose the job, the person gives another call that your house is on sale. So like this. So, it's a short-termism in our, urban system. Short-termism is the fundamentals in the urban system. And that's why our ancient Indian Vedic sages had said, you worship the Mother Earth, you worship the trees. Yaha devaha shuhu yaha agnihi. Iha asya bhuvanasya, iha aushodhishu banaspatishu, tasmai devaya namo namaha. Rigveda had mentioned. And when Uddhav was having a conversation with Lord Krishna, he was telling that you look at the Mother Earth, don't assault the Mother Earth much. You take it from the Mother Earth as it's a gift of Mother Earth. The moment you have an assault on her, it will have a reverse, the video has been depicted on the actually spirit of that. I request Dr. Shaha to play a 5 minutes video. I have a time up to 11:15. In between 5 minutes I am taking to show you the video to depict what walk and what is the context for our walk. And then I'll come, where are the points of emphasis on that.
আমাদের আবার জীবন বেঁচে থাকলেই কি আর মরে গেলেই কি কারোর কিচ্ছু যায় আসে না এই শহরের ফুটপাত আর আকাশ এই তো আমাদের ঘরবাড়ি
Yeah, you can stop
the city
it here.
of Calcutta,
You can
which
stop
is
it
known
here.
as a city.
Yeah, this is me 20 years ago, 21 years ago. Well, at that time when we tried to have something done, the first day when we could hold the hand of one child, the child was, middle of the center of the city, Kolkata. There's a railway station famous called Shialda railway station. Nearby there is a canal flowing via the city, it cuts the city across. And both the sides of that, there are shanties, people live in that. We thought that we'll start from here. We started with only 1,000 children. And I'm fortunate that, some people who were and who are actually establishing their career, particularly ladies. I would like to mention the names of two ladies. Apart from, Shipra Banerjee, my wife, she decided to come forward. I have never persuaded. She on her own did that. And now I don't, get into the day-to-day activities. There are a lot of activities now. And one person, she was a very famous journalist, based in Delhi. The first name is Devjani. I'm not mentioning the entire name. She left. She became the national head of an English, channel, and one of the famous channels. And at that point, the largest channel a few years ago. Now no longer the largest. And the others have come on it. They are, I guess, in the third position now. But then she left the career and joined this. Another lady, Shomdatta, she is from a very rich family and was having their own, beautiful life lived. But then they have joined. There are many people joined, and I'm very happy to mention that now there is a rush from my MBA and undergraduate students to teach the children. We have given a maximum limit of 20 hours you can teach. And they teach what? We have got centers in remote areas called Jalpaiguri near tribal zone. We got a center in Sundarban interior, which is adjacent to interior, the jungle, the Sundarban. There are villages where at one point of time no male person was there because when they used to go inside the forest, the tigers used to, meaning they were prey to the tigers, they used to go there to collect honey, and that was their livelihood. Now it is all, dramatically changes. We have given computers there, and education is the framework for which they are now actually having, is the maximum, for, you can say 90-degree conversion and heading towards a 180-degree conversion in many places. Why we believe, what is that we are doing now? We are trying to, our students have done miraculous and marvelous actions during the corona period. Oxygen was a crisis everywhere, every city, probably if you remember. And I'm so happy that, even midnight oxygen cylinders were, provided and collected, arranged, hospitalization arranged. Corona period, it was so sensitive. Even the friends, colleagues, relatives, they were avoiding others. But our students, they did not do that. By the grace of God, they were not, affected, but they did. And we have got centers among the girls only in the middle of Calcutta called at the ashram, Shardeshwari Ashram, where we are teaching computers. In a place far away from Calcutta, in a district, Nadia, Navadvip. We are having in Toto, tribe in remote area of Himalayan foothill in West Bengal. And also we are having in Medapur adjacent. I am invited by the Patna city, by the, government, and in Ranchi, we are going to have our branches over there. The objective is to encourage people, teach the children, and we have seen those who were there in the early period, many of the girls who were forced to marriage at the age of 9, 10, we could protect them, and now they are so much established, they are now hiring, children from the same community, though there are significant changes in that through interventions. So I believe that corporate social responsibility should be reviewed and considered as a human social responsibility. The 2013 Act has made a compulsion and the revisions of that Act. But it should not be limited to the compulsion. It should be taken care of by individuals as a kind of solemn duty. Patanjali had said, Yamaha, Niyamaha, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyaha. Then comes Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. If you want to have that spiritual realization, last three you can set aside. But for any individual like even me, is a Yamaha, Niyamaha, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara. This for a very, very essential. Consumption has become a central issue of human society now. The extreme form of consumption, I've elaborated that in my latest book, Bhagavad Gita for Walk and Life. There is a conversation between Arjuna and Lord Krishna, where Arjuna was thoroughly depressed. I'm going to have my center in Princeton University from April onwards. They have offered me a place over there in New York, adjacent to New York main city. It's in the New Jersey area, but then close to New York. There we are starting a center for depression management. It's a request from them only, and New York Mayor also. So why? Because depression has become a very, very central issue among the early teenagers across the globe, not only in our country, in urban society. That's a huge issue we need to take care of. We need to take care of other issues. Why things are happening this way, we need to review. Our consumption has to be curtailed and contained to the limit and level of our quality living and our allowing others to have a quality living in the same way. We should not actually go beyond. That's a Yamaha, Sang Yamaha, meaning you need to contain your desires to the limit of affordability and manageability for the entire global society. If we can do that, we can turn around the human society and we assault less on the Mother Earth and the plant kingdom, animal kingdom, and we allow others to survive, we let others survive, and we survive in a sustainable manner. Thank you very much.